Mm-hmm. I think I'm going live. I think I'm live. Sir. All righty. So Cornershop is dying. It's honestly pretty sad, y'all. And welcome to the live. We'll talk about that tonight. Talk a little bit about Cornershop, a little bit about well, we'll see what we have time for. But gonna start off talking a little about Cornershop and why, with Uber Eats buying it out, Cornershop is dying. Now I'm trying to do some graphics. Bear with me. I'm a rookie when it comes to these lives. So if I can bring this up on the screen, I'm trying to see. Hold up. Yeah. I'm not doing this right. Hold on, I got one more idea. One more idea. I don't think I need to talk. So, man, I'm trying to pull up the screenshot that shows what I'm talking about. And not gonna lie, having a little bit of challenges. But we're gonna get back to the topic, and we'll figure out how to get that up later. So, for those that don't know, I think maybe a year or two ago, I'm not sure what the timeline is, but Uber Eats bought Cornershop. And for those that don't know, Cornershop is the grocery delivery app, kind of like Instacart, kind of like Shipt. I've been recently making a couple videos about it. And right now, Cornershop to me is the best paying gig app. I mean, it's grocery delivery, but they pay you per mile, they pay you per item, they pay you per mile, by the way, to the store and to the customer. They pay you per item, not necessarily by the quantity. Like if you get, I don't know, 10 bananas, they pay you for banana being the one item, but they'll pay you for the weight of the item. So 10 bananas weighs, I don't know, 3 pounds. So that'll go into that calculation. So they pay you for per item, they pay you for weight, and with all these things that they pay you for, it's a pretty solid pay model. I mean, on multiple occasions, I've done just one or two corner shop orders and made $50. I've made $50 in one corner shop order. I've made $100 in just three corner shop orders. And with that, just driving to the store, doing the shopping, driving to the customer, it's no more than 2 or 3 miles to the store. A lot of times it's 5 miles or less to the customer. And so, with all that being said, it's and looking at how much time you're spending doing the shopping, how much time you're spending doing the driving, a lot of times it's an hour or less. So you're talking 25, 30, on a big order, maybe $50 in an hour and a half, but nonetheless, a good amount of money for the time you're spending. So now that Uber Eats purchased Cornershop, the biggest thing that I took away from that is that Uber Eats is going to change that pay model to be like the Cornershop pay model. I'm sorry, it's going to change that Cornershop orders to be like the Uber Eats pay model. Now, if you deliver for Uber Eats for any period of time, you know that it's a little bit better than DoorDash, but it's not that much better. Now, the biggest difference for me, at least, is I'm looking at Uber Eats versus DoorDash. DoorDash's base pay may go up by like a quarter, maybe 50 cents if a lot of people decline an order. Now, when it comes to Uber Eats, I think they look at it kind of the similar way, to decrease that price as people are declining it, as people aren't accepting it. But they make it a separate line item called trip supplement. And I've seen that trip supplement typically, not even say typically, I'll say many times go above just a couple cents. I've seen that trip supplement go up to dollars. So, an order that may not be popular may go from being, we'll say, even with a tip on it, by the way, from being a $3 or $4 base pay to being a $6 or $7 base pay. Now, that's not frequent, but it does happen. On top of that, I think all delivery services have that peak pay or that surge pay or whatever it may be. So that's another reason Uber Eats, I think, is better than DoorDash. But today in this one, we're kind of comparing Uber Eats to Cornershop. And even though Uber Eats has that trip supplement, I doubt it's going to be, the amount that is above the base pay for a Cornershop order that calculates all these other factors. I mean, even looking at the base pay in a Cornershop, you get a base pay for delivering as well as for shopping. So the base pay altogether on Cornershop is over $6. And there's no food delivery app, whether it be Uber Eats, whether it be Grubhub. By the way, they're not what they're saying they're doing. I'll come back. That's another conversation for another time. But whether it be Uber Eats, whether it be Grubhub, whether it be DoorDash, none of them have that $6 base pay, $6+ base pay. So of course, with Uber Eats taking over this pay model, it's going to bring it down to that Uber Eats base pay, which is basically $250. I mean, on a stack order might be $150. So we're looking at losing that as well. One second, let me take a trip. I'm not getting advertising anybody, so make sure you don't know what I'm drinking. But it is delicious, to tell you that. But I think what's to be determined is not if Uber Eats is going to kill the Cornershop pay model, but by how much. I mean, how much are they going to really? I mean, right now, I think in the last video I posted, I kind of showed a little bit about that Cornershop pay, that order that I took that was $33 before we factored in tips, right? So I don't see any world where on Uber Eats I'm seeing a $33 base pay before I see a tip. I see a $33 any pay before I see a tip. Even if it's a bunch of items, I don't see Uber Eats compensating for the number of items. I don't see Uber Eats really giving much compensation for the number of miles. So like maybe a big order on Uber Eats that would have been on a Cornershop in the future. I'm guessing maybe 15, which is still 50% or half. But even then, I feel like that's wishful thinking. I do feel like that's wishful thinking. So, yeah, what else? Yeah, I think it's determined to see how much they're going to, reduce that trip supplement or reduce that base pay. But it's going to get reduced. Just not sure by how much yet. From a value perspective, like right now, I know a lot of people have challenges getting signed on to Cornershop. Cornershop isn't necessarily, it's kind of like Shipt, or kind of like maybe Grubhub. There was a wait list, but now that they're kind of being rolled into Uber Eats, I don't know how that's working out because they're just going to put all those Cornershop orders into Uber Eats orders, right? So essentially, you're going from having this Cornershop platform that's not oversaturated to putting this on the Uber Eats platform that's very saturated. That's not going to be good for multiple reasons. I mean, part of having a platform that's not saturating is having consistent earning opportunities. So you get it onto a saturated platform, you don't have that same consistent earning opportunities. There's people like on any platform like doing shop and deliver orders. The people that are on the Uber Eats platform that wanted to get on the Cornershop, they're going to basically be on there, although not really because it's not going to be the same Cornershop pay and orders. Nonetheless, that platform is still going to be saturated with shoppers. So that's something that I see being a challenge still. Not really being a challenge still, but being a challenge in the future. I mean, if I just want to do shop and deliver orders, I got to sit around and got to take how many $250 McDonald's orders, not really take them, but have them come to my phone until I can get an Uber Eats grocery order that's not going to pay what it did before. And then maybe take that. And then on top of that, once again, going into the Uber Eats, you got to talk about the actual pay information that you're seeing on that offer screen. Now, when it comes to Uber Eats versus Cornershop, there's basically issues with that offer screen on both scenarios. In my market, Uber Eats doesn't give me the destination unless I'm taking 3 out of the last 10 orders. So, like, really what that means is that right now, if I get a Uber Eats order, grocery order in the future, I'm going to see the amount, I'm going to see the number of miles, but I'm not going to see any information on where I need to go. Yeah, I'm going to see the number of items, which is kind of what Cornershop gives you right now. So it gives you the number of items. But, it also, like, one thing that Cornershop also gives you, that quantity and that weight of the items. So it knows how I'm going to be carrying a bunch of waters or whatnot. Uber Eats, it'll tell you when you do an Uber grocery order, it'll tell you like the number of items. But until I accept that order, I don't see what all those items are. So it's not something that I'm looking forward to. What else? What other topics come to mind? I mean, if I think about it, technically, if I'm taking 3 out of 10 orders, I will be able to see destination. I mean, that may be on a weekend where I get a bunch of good orders, or if I'm only going at like a prime time. But still, if I'm trying to only take grocery orders, once again, I got to decline a bunch of, fast food orders that I don't want to take till I get a grocery order that I might want to take. And if I sit up to decline all those orders, it's not likely that I'm going to be taking 3 out of the last 10 orders. Now, something that I hope Uber Eats does, I think that would be good, is if they gave us the ability to only do grocery orders in that platform, to kind of toggle things on and off. Excuse me, be able to toggle off Uber Eats food delivery to only toggle on the Uber Eats grocery delivery when that time came. Maybe that would be something I would consider doing. Make that one a little bit better because I can still kind of almost treat it like Cornershop by only getting those grocery deliveries. And with my market being one of the 3 out of 10 markets, maybe then I would accept maybe 3 out of 10. The one thing that I will say that's probably a little bit better on Uber Eats than in Cornershop is like right now in my city in Phoenix, there's like say 2 or 3 different Cornershop stores that are within a reasonable distance from me. And I say reasonable, I'll say within 5 miles, right? I'll still get Cornershop offers from places that are 10 plus miles away from me in different cities, pretty much, in Tempe, which is basically down highways. And then on top of that, I still have to, shop and deliver to that customer. I don't accept those orders, but I still get those offers. And I'll tell you this, Uber Eats is not offering me any orders from 10 miles away right now. I do know that. So I will give that like that destination or that order proximity or offering me orders to me where I'm at. That makes more sense on Uber Eats and Cornershop right now. But I mean, I got to go through with a fine tooth comb to find some of these benefits. I'm trying to think. I think there's another one kind of like down that alignment with Cornershop right now. There's not as they're getting their own stores, like the stores that are on Uber Eats. Like Safeway is probably the most famous one in my market, but then we also have the Carniceria, which is in one of my videos, like a Los Altos Ranch Market. I'm starting to see some Smart and Finals on Cornershop. And there's, I think, what's the place? Aldi's? I think Aldi's is, I've never taken an Aldi's order, but Aldi's is on there as well, right? So if we're seeing all of those restaurants or all those grocery stores go into the Uber Eats app, most Uber Eats drivers aren't going to want to take a lot of shop and deliver orders, especially when they're grocery orders. At least I think I'll be better able to get offers from places near me. Now there'll be more places, so if I'm traveling to another market, it'll be a little bit easier as well. But I think like the offers in places near me, there's multiple Safeways, and there's one like about, I think I said 5 miles away. There's another one about 8 miles away. And sometimes I'll deliver in that area from like the one near me, just because I know I'll end up at that Safeway. And a lot of Cornershop shoppers don't go there. I mean, it's for some reason, it's an area. Well, I know why. The main reason is that like there's not a lot of. It's one area that has one group of stores, and there's not a lot of other areas. So if it's not popping in that area, you're kind of 7 miles away from anything else, and so you're sitting there waiting to get orders. And if you're not getting orders, you're just not making money. So you're taking a risk every time you go in that area. But when you are in the area and it is popping, you do make good money. Like on a weekend or an evening. If it's like I said, it's a busy time. If it's those peak hours, you're gonna make good money. And the people that live in that area have bigger houses, but I guess they're responsible. They just don't eat out as much, but they do get the grocery delivered. But like I said, if you're in that area, you're kind of in that area. So that's so it'll be interesting to see because I do see that being a potential possible benefit. What other thoughts? So I think I talked about some of the good, I talked about some of the bad. Some of there are some ugly though. And I think the biggest one is the weight of the order. Like right now, if I'm doing Cornershop and I see like an offer 4 items, I can see 4 items and it weighs 100 pounds. I know that's probably 4 25-pound cases of water. I have my cart, so I'm not afraid of that order. But it's not like it's an order that I take depending on the mileage. I know it's going to be easy to shop in and out. And it's probably the reason that Cornershop went out of business because an order like that's 100 pounds. Surprisingly, the base pay between the $6 base pay, and on top of that, the weight of 100 pounds, it probably pays around $10 to $15 for that order. But the order itself, a case of water, maybe $4 or $5. I don't know. I got a little thing, but I usually buy jugs of water. But thinking about that order, I'm gonna get $12 to $15 for an order that cost me out the door maybe 10. I've seen multiple orders like that on Cornershop, and that's one of those orders that we're gonna lose, and it hurts because from the perspective of I don't know that's gonna be heavy, and on top of that, Uber Eats is not paying you for the weight, so we're losing that pay. So that order is probably going to be a $5 order in the future outside of whatever the customer tips. The other thing that's ugly that I thought about is that on Cornershop, there's one thing that I think other people talked about. I didn't talk about in my last video about their pay model, but their multiplier. So whereas I think a lot of places have this, hold on, dog, you being a little loud. Give me 1 second. All right. So I was saying is that like with Cornershop, they have this multiplier. So what happens is if an order is undesirable in Cornershop and say it doesn't get taken, and I've read this somewhere that Cornershop has like a 90-minute delivery turnaround time. So if I place an order with Cornershop, it's supposed to get to me within 90 minutes. So the closer it gets to that 90 minutes, I think that's when they add in those multipliers and you see their pay increase. So like using that same $10 water order, like this, I think it was yesterday, just last night. No, maybe it was a couple of days ago. But long story short, there was an order that was like 4 or 5 items that had a double multiplier on it. So usually would have paid like $12, maybe 10, and it's like $20+. We can pay like $23 when it was all said and done. So now tell me, do you really think Uber Eats is going to take a $10 order and trip supplement it up to a $20 order? Because if it's taking too long, there's so many things with that we know that's not going to happen. Number one, taking too long. I mean, there's going to be a saturated platform, so they're going to find somebody faster. B, the trip supplement is not going to take a $10 order and turn it to a $20 order. It may take a $10 order and turn it to a $13 order. Besides that, what Uber will probably do to not even have to offer that trip supplement or that increasing their version of multiplier at least is taking that order and they're just offering peak pay during that time period. So like if it's Saturday afternoon, we'll say Saturday evening because that's when there's usually peaks and surges in the evenings, and they may add $2 to it. But either way, that $10 order is not turning into a 20+ order before a tip gets added on there. So that's one thing I'm going to miss because like right now with Cornershop having that surge multiplier on it, that multiplier on it with Cornershop, I know that if it's a time where I'm getting offered an order back to back and I decline it, actually full decline it, not just ignore it, but decline it, very often I'll get offered that same order, but with the multiplier on top of it. Sometimes it's a 20% multiplier. Sometimes it's it gets higher and higher if I keep declining it. And that's the thing I'm going to miss about Cornershop and going there because I know Uber Eats is not going to give me that multiplier. If I decline it because of the saturation of the platform, I'll probably never see that order again. So that's one thing that, it's ugly because that's one thing that makes it easy to make a lot of money with Cornershop, especially if you're in a market that's limited or you're in the area of your market where a lot of people don't go. That section of town I mentioned earlier, it's about 7 miles away. As I mentioned, because either people are there and it's just always are in that area, but it's rare that people go to that area so it doesn't get too saturated. And also the other thing about that area is once you're in that area, like I said, you're kind of there. You got to take either, what would I call that? I guess it's a road, 7 miles on just the regular city streets with lights and all that. It's going to take 15 minutes to get back to where you're going. Or if you take the highway out of that area, even then you're still going 15 miles, maybe another 15 minutes to a whole other part of town. And in Arizona, it's very highway driven. Arizona is easy to navigate. I digress for a moment, but Arizona is on this grid system, so it's very easy to navigate. There's literally one road you can take that'll go. You can take Broadway. It goes all the way from the eastest part of town to the westest part of the town. or Baseline. I said Broadway. Well, probably both of these. But Baseline definitely goes all the way from the eastest part of town to the westest part of town. So, that's another thing, But, there are some good things. I kind of talked about the bad things. After doing a lot of thinking, I found a couple of silver linings. When I said a lot of thinking, I did a lot of thinking to find these silver linings, right? So, number one, you don't have to use those little bags anymore. Anybody that shops Cornershop, they got these little bags. And, in my videos, I just put the bags in the bag. I've seen other people's videos where they go shopping, and there's a lot of different ways that they do it. But they go shopping for Cornershop, and they actually take all the items out of the bags that, say, Safeway or whatever grocery store gives them, and they'll put them back in the Cornershop bags. And I salute those people. They're the real heroes because they're giving, 150% customer service. Some people, they take it in the store, and I think after they just scan it out, they bag it themselves. They just put it right back in the cart and say, no, bagger person, don't worry about it. I'll bag it. Me personally, might be smarter to just take all those bags in the store. So when the bagger person goes to bag your groceries, they just use those bags that, that Cornershop gives you to use. Then it's like killing two birds with one stone. You having them use the bags you need to use. Which might be something that I try. I feel like that's something I need to try myself. I don't know if they would use the bags I give them. I feel like they would because I know I've been to like a Fry's and I've seen somebody go in there with a reusable bag and they gave the person their bags and like, oh, we can use these bags instead. So that actually might be the big IQ, 200 IQ play right there. I'm about to do that. I'll have to vlog that and see what happens. But that's one thing. You won't have to use those bags anymore. Although I kind of like using those bags personally because with those Cornershop bags, whether it be the paper ones or the plastic ones, they're both pretty solid, like sturdy bags. And like for me, for example, I do a lot of Safeway shopping. That's the big Cornershop place in my area is Safeway. So when I do that Safeway shopping, they bag it however they bag it. I recently started going through self-checkout sometimes, but because, Cornershop at Safeway has to be tax exempt, if I don't have that scanner, let me rephrase that, if I'm not 100% sure it's all food items and there won't be tax on the food, then I have to go through the regular checkout line. If it's all food, I'll go through the other line because I know it's all the food is going to be tax exempt. I don't need them to tax exempt the order. But I was saying is that, if I'm going through the regular line, they usually bag it pretty well. And, they're professional baggers. The courtesy clerks, I think that's what they're called, right? And so, like, they make things light, but sometimes they use too many bags. At Fry's, they use way too many bags. Safeway, they're pretty good. And, I'll put those – I can put two items in one Cornershop, two Safeway bags in one Cornershop bag. Can make it a little bit heavier, but typically instead of carrying 6 bags or 7 bags to the customer, I end up only needing to bring like 2, 3, 4 bags to the customer. So especially on those bigger orders, it makes it easier. Obviously, a lot of the liquids like, cases of water, milk jugs, I don't even bag those. Cases of soda, no need to bag those. So it doesn't make a difference. But yeah, the fact that you have to go through another thing is, in addition to using those bags, another silver lining is like the Cornershop app, as far as the checkout process, you gotta scan your receipt in. It's just like typical on any of these shopping apps. After that, you gotta use the Cornershop bags. You gotta tell them how many Cornershop bags you used. If they were the big paper bags, the big plastic bags, the small paper bags, or whatever it is, you gotta do all that. So Cornershop has you doing all that, entering the receipt before tax, after tax, which seems like redundant because you just had me scan in this receipt. You use the Cornershop card. You know how much the transaction is for. Do I really need to do all this, Cornershop? I don't think it's necessary, but the Cornershop app makes you do it. I mean, the substitution process as well. I mean, with Cornershop, when it comes to the substitutions, let's talk about just scanning items in the app and substitutions. I mean, you got to scan the item, you got to enter the quantity, you enter the weight, you got to enter the price. I mean, most apps like Shipt, you just scan it, boop, move on. Scan it, boop, move on. Maybe on some produce with Shipt, you got to put in scan it and put in the weight, which is typically on the package. But even those, you can skip doesn't scan or won't scan and move along, call it a day. It's still a lot faster. I mean, now if something is out of stock, just comparing those two once again, Shipt to Cornershop. On Shipt, sometimes the customer will have a substitution or prefer a substitution on there. Not even a possibility on the Cornershop app. Now, I don't know about Uber's grocery shopping delivery because the last time I did that, that was a pain in the ass as well as far as substituting. But I feel like it has to be better than Cornershop because with Cornershop, when it comes to substituting, you gotta give the alternatives. You gotta find the alternatives. Not even like on Instacart where it says, "Hey, these are some similar items." No, you got to scan them in and put them in there. And on top of that, even if you're communicating with the customer throughout the process, you don't send them all the substitution options for review until at the end. Now there's ways to get around that, especially if they've already approved it through your communications. You can skip that wait time and just choose them. But it's still like cumbersome. It's still a bunch of steps that are, in my opinion, relatively unnecessary. So I think, that piece of it, the shopping piece of it, I think that'll be, there'll be some hits and misses. Like I think the end part, or just getting a receipt, that'll be easier on the Uber app. I know you have to do the receipt, like I said, because that's standard. But entering the price and having to, hit start and this and that, not so much. The other thing I do like about the Cornershop app, I will say, they give you 2 minutes to kind of decide if you want to take that order or not versus Uber Eats. Uber Eats order, it's blinking, it's loud, especially if you're in the car and you're moving. It's annoying. They don't give you that much time, so you got to make the decision quickly. Yeah. There's some other things, I think, some silver linings. If you're not in a market like mine, where Uber doesn't give you the destination, in my market, once again, I mentioned it's a 3 out of 10. If I don't accept 3 out of the last 10 orders, basically keep a rolling 30% acceptance rate over my last 10 orders, I don't know where my pickup location and drop-offs are. Now, when I say I don't know, like I know my area, so if it's a Chipotle, I know there's only one Chipotle. But actually, not thinking about it, even say that, I have to like zoom in on that. So I am losing that pickup info in markets like mine. But if you're not in a market like mine, because that was the point of this, if you're in one of those markets where it tells you, hey, you're picking up from McDonald's and you're taking it a mile down the road to this location. If you're one of those markets and you're getting these Cornershop or these new Uber grocery orders in your new market, you'll have more information than we do in Cornershop because you'll know where exactly your drop-off destination is. Like today in the Cornershop offers, it just gives you basically a zip code and the mileage from the store. It doesn't tell you what direction, north, east, south, west. It gives you a zip code. And most places, have there's a lot of places that could be in a zip code. Now, like I said, if you're in that Uber Eats market, it will tells you where it's going. You get better than a zip code, you get a specific location. So I'm also wondering, I really am wondering though, is Uber gonna have these orders any different? Are they gonna like make the offers different? Are they gonna upgrade the offers? I know from what I've read, they're still gonna have the same order app for the customers. So like a Cornershop customer is still gonna have the same information. A Cornershop customer is still gonna, see it as a Cornershop order. And a revelation that I had kind of to myself the other night when I was, all admitted ordering some Uber Eats or some Taco Bell late at night. I saw that Uber grocery in there, and it clicked in my brain that right now, I think Uber grocery and the stores that were listed in there, this is how I know, is that the Uber grocery orders are technically going to Cornershop. So what that means is that whether a customer orders through the Cornershop app or the customer orders through the Uber grocery app, they may or may not know one or the other. So in the future, so like right now, I'll start with right now. Like right now, I was delivering this order, and I was like, "Oh, thank you for using Cornershop." It occurred to me maybe they're using it as Uber grocery, but that same thing is going to kind of be in the future. If you're, I don't know why I'd be so courteous in the future because with Uber grocery, I don't likely to be as much texting. But it's not going to be that same thank you and sending that picture, confirming that you made the delivery. Because with Uber Eats, it's already included in that leave at your door option, that picture confirming you made the delivery. So it's not like an extra communication you need to make like it is in the Cornershop app. But long story short, I'm not going to know whether to say thank you for, using Cornershop, or thank you from using Uber Eats. Hey, what up, HotFX? I don't know if you're on, if you're on Uber. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're on Cornershop, which is basically grocery delivery by Uber Eats, or if you know what's happening. But maybe you do a lot of Uber Eats. I've seen your videos. I know you do a lot of Uber Eats. So let me know. Do you take any Uber Eats shop and deliver orders or Uber Eats grocery orders in your area? The one thing, another silver lining benefit I can see potentially is that, like right now with Cornershop, you have two cards. You have this, call it the Marquetta card, and I don't know what the other card is called. I think it's called like I don't want to say Steam or Stream or something like that, but it's basically like a black card and a white card. And with the Cornershop, you got to carry two cards, and so you don't know which card you're going to use before checkout. I mean, there was months at a time where I used the white card only, and then all of a sudden, I had to start using the black card. It was awkward because the first time it happened to me, I literally didn't have the black card on me. It was at home, so I had to I did so many wrong things on my order from me. If I'm being honest about it, their card didn't work. I used my card. I lied to support about using my card. I went home to get my right card, and then they made me go back and return it. And I had to basically get the refund on my card and use the right card. Luckily, it was a store that was within literally a mile from where I live. And the customer still tipped me well, I think. But long story short, it was probably one of the longer shops I did, and it was totally my fault for not carrying two both cards with me at the same time. So Hot Fact said your wife's also be getting 30 items plus on the Uber shopping. What type of stores are they? Grocery stores? I know an Uber shopping right now in my area is pretty much just CVS's and Walgreens. So with Uber grocery in my area, they haven't picked up on the Cornershop stores, which are the Safeways. Not on the Shipt store, it's the Fry's or the Kroger stores. So I'm wondering if you guys are seeing 30 item plus, you said your wife is getting them, if they're, on those stores, those grocery stores basically. But yeah, so technically with having Uber Eats, you only have one card now, so that's kind of a silver lining there. I think technically it's one less app. You're doing Kroger on those, so definitely, yeah. Kroger's definitely, those are definitely going to be serious, grocery delivery apps. Because right now, we have Fry's out here in Arizona, so I'm doing those orders, but I'm doing them through Instacart or maybe Shipt. So I'm not seeing those on Uber Eats, but I'm doing occasionally those Kroger orders, but just through another app. So it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see if they start using Kroger out in my area. That'll be a little bit better in the sense that Kroger customers, at least the ones that I've gotten on my Shipt app, they consistently tip. I say Kroger, but I mean Fry's, but same difference. $24 to $30 orders. Okay, that's legit. Let me see. Hold on. No, that's legit. If I got a $24 to $30 order, if I saw those on the corner, if I saw those in the Uber Eats in my area, I'll definitely do them. I do them on Cornershop now. I know there's going to be a learning curve, learning how to do the shopping deliveries on the Uber Eats app again. I used to do them all the time, like I said, CVS and Walgreens. But I stopped doing them because the CVS and Walgreens are very poorly stocked in my area. So doing those orders on CVS and Walgreens, you go in there, and the last time I did the Uber Eats, the app was clunky. When it came to communicating subs, you couldn't really sub. You could just tell the customer's out of stock. It was really clunky. It wasn't intuitive. It wasn't anything like the other apps. It's not $50 order. That's what I expect to see on Cornershop. So hopefully we can see that in my area too. Right now, I think I mentioned in my previous video, I showed a $50 order that I got through Cornershop, of course, with the base and the tip and all that. Yeah, but the CVS, the Rite Aids, the Walgreens, those are the places I'll probably still skip, even when I go back, even if Cornershop transitions over, and I see those orders within, the Uber Eats app. I don't see myself wanting to do those because, like I said, they sell out quick. I feel like I've done those. I've kind of started doing those again on Shipt, But with Shipt, you see what the items are before you accept the order. So I can see like, is it just soda and chips? Is it, I see cosmetics sometimes. I'm not too fond of shopping for those orders. Seeing something like hair coloring, I don't know why, but I see a lot of hair coloring at Walgreens or CVS. If it's one of those, I can see on Shipt, I know what it is. On Shipt, those orders start out with a $6 base pay, which is kind of similar to Cornershop. So, let's see. Plan B are out of stock also. So the funny thing is, I'll say the funny thing because, obviously they need it for a reason. But the interesting thing, in my opinion, is that Plan B was out of stock for a minute at Targets. I think they're back in stock, but even now, I still think they keep them in the back. Like that's one of those items when I'm doing a ship shop at Target. Like it's rare that it's on the shelf. It's more often that I'll say, "Hey, do you guys have any more in the back?" They'll look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and they'll go out there and they'll get some. But I think part of it is maybe LP loss prevention. I mean, they're already boxed up, but maybe if it's a high theft rate item, maybe you only put so many out there on the floor at a time. I don't know. But if they're seeing $50, going back to that, orders on Uber Eats, then maybe all hope is not lost. I mean, those orders if right now, like on Cornershop. Well, it's the one thing I'll say that too. Uber Eats. If I see that Uber Eats offer, actually, this opens up a whole other can of worms. Tip baiting. I think tip baiting it goes back and forth because I think they could do it on Cornershop because I went through like the Cornershop order process before I didn't place the order, but I went through that mock-up. It is very simply the same as Uber Eats. If you're doing the Uber Eats app, it's like a grocery order. So it's something that is basically very similar. It's like any other Uber Eats order. And yeah, so with that being said, it's like that hour that you have to adjust a tip. This is one of those silver linings again. But maybe it's painful because I feel like Uber Eats customers all of a sudden doing grocery orders. Uber Eats customers are more likely to tip bait. I mean, it was on Cornershop. I saw tips on 90+% of my orders. Let's say still am. Cornershop's not dead yet. But it takes 6 hours to settle that tip. Uber Eats only takes 1 hour to settle that tip. So if they were going to tip bait, I feel like on Uber Eats, it's that 1 hour window. It's less likely to get taken away. You get to see what it is up front. Cornershop, you see the base pay, and they estimate the tip. So you don't know what the tip will be, which is why it's more often higher than they estimated. But with that 6 hour window, who knows what goes in their mind? If anything, if they really think about something that they didn't like, an egg was. I'll say an egg was cracked, even though I check all the eggs, but somehow an egg got cracked and I took my whole tip away. 3 hours later versus, by the time they recognize it on Uber Eats, they have 1 hour to settle it. Yeah, so I see that. Hot facts, I'm down for an interview this weekend, but just let me know. DM me if you're on IG, DM me or email me, man. My contact info should be on my page, my info, but it's my channel at gmail.com, -3tv@gmail.com. Hit me up. We'll set up some time. But yeah, man, thinking about the tipping piece of it. I know the 1 hour settling, seeing that's the benefit, being able to see how much I make within an hour. So we'll see with tip baiting, how much it really happens or not. What are some of the other things? I think that's kind of the one of the last things I think that I could find that was a silver lining. No. I mean, thinking about it in conclusion, of the overall big picture, pretty much 99% of the drivers, I don't say 99%, I'll say the vast majority, definitely above 90%, probably above 95% of drivers, the vast majority of drivers, we do this because we want to make money, whether it be full-time money, part-time money, side hustle money for a vacation, beer money, whatever is your pleasure, whatever it may be, but you do it typically not for charity, not because you want to be a better service to the community, not because you're looking to take a bunch of notes up offers because you feel like people that, don't have the money to tip deserve just as good service. You're doing it because you got bills to pay. I'm down for Saturday. I'm down for Saturday. But yeah, you're doing this because you have bills to pay. You know, and I think the most important thing to drivers is the money. You know, it's the money you make, and I think that time will tell. Because I've heard more positive things from Hot Facts talking about what he's seeing, and I've seen negative. What I'm expecting is too negative, but I think it's going to be worse, more bad than good, just because that pay model from Cornershop is so good. Don't, I just don't see it in my heart that Uber Eats is going to continue that pay model. Um, Now maybe they're going to roll all those additional factors into trip supplement. The tips will probably be the same from a customer perspective. It's going to be interesting to see. So there's possibilities, but if I had to give percentages, I would say probably 2-1, 3-1 odds, solid 3.5-1, maybe even odds. But time will tell. I think the big piece to me is it's basically saturating Uber Eats Cornershop overnight, that conversion. And when you saturate a platform, it's hard to still make that platform viable for the vast majority of drivers. I mean, you're getting new drivers that don't know what to take. You're getting experienced drivers that weren't on that platform that wasn't saturated. Now they're on there too. The experienced vultures. So, I mean, it's a mix. But, outside of the couple silver linings I mentioned, I think it's going to be more bad than good. So that's all. I'll go about, I'll say 2.5-1. I'll say 2.5-1. I would say 3-1. I'll say 2.5-1. But, luckily this change doesn't happen until August 15th. So between now and August 15th, I'm going to continue to do as much Cornershop as I can. Part-time right now, my goal is basically $60+ a day on a weekday, 100 on the weekends, an extra 1,500 to 2K a month. So it's easy to happen. It's easy to hit that goal. I'm getting, a Cornershop offer that I might basically make sure that all I have to do that day in a day is like one Cornershop offer and maybe 2 or 3 Uber Eats orders or food delivery orders, which basically means that I'm only on the road for 2 hours, maybe drive 15, maybe 20 miles at the most, and hit $60, averaging way north of $2 per mile. Some days averaging over $3 per mile. I'm going to do as much as I can. I'm going to enjoy this Cornershop as much as I can, give this last hurrah. And it kind of sucks from the sense because, I had been thinking, I got approved to do Cornershop 6 months before I actually started doing Cornershop. Like these Cornershop bags I got, once I got that shipment of bags, I was like, I got to do what? I got 2 cards. I got to do what? I don't have this information on the offer. I got to do what? And it took me a solid at least 4 months of having Cornershop and never getting on it before I got on it and realized it's the best paying gig app pretty much in my area. Like I lost so much money in those 4 months from the opportunity cost, the opportunity of just not getting on that app, of just being basically playing scared money, just being scared by a little bit of work. But I should know that typically the apps or the services or whatever that causes you to do a little bit more work is typically going to give you a little bit more money. So that's why I've been doing shopping, and of course you want to go to the best shopping app. I mean, I'll say this, lately I've started to turn on Instacart more. Haven't really done more Instacart. But been watching those. Somebody, what's it? Go toll kind of money line. That's random. I don't even know. I don't even ate a squirrel. Man, that just threw off my whole concentration. Ate a squirrel and broke. I feel like there's so many details missing out of this conversation. Ate a squirrel and broke her arm. But, I'm going to do as much Cornershop as I can in the meantime. I'm going to continue to stick to these apps, that shopping. I've turned on Instacart more often. Even though I found one order. It's interesting. I found this customer on Instacart, and it's a customer that she got to be a delivery addict because I swear I've delivered for her for Shipt. I know I've delivered for her for Cornershop. I've delivered her from Instacart. So I'm really wondering, like, how does she decide which app to use? It's kind of an eccentric house too. Like, it's like a greenhouse. It's kind of like has like a dog area. It also like a bird garden. So like you're literally, when you're walking up to the door, it's like you're walking through a small forest in the middle of the desert, which there's so many things that are weird about it. That's why I say it's an eccentric house. It's like a dog park in a forest in the middle of the desert. Obviously, I don't walk through the dog park. I walk through the forest in the bird garden. But yeah, she's on pretty much. I've delivered DoorDash for her for sure. I've delivered Uber Eats for her for sure. I've delivered her. I might have. This woman might be like literally the Thanos of delivery. She might literally have all the delivery apps and order from all of them in a week. Like if there are infinity rings for a delivery app, I think this would be the customer. But I expect to see her at least. I know that she's going to be a good delivery person. So, yeah, we're going to go through all that. So, yeah, we'll see what it is. Probably do one or two. There's a Cornershop video that I've been sitting on for a while. I got to finish editing it. Maybe I'll drop it this week. Maybe I'll drop it this weekend. But I got a couple other Cornershop. We'll see. We'll see how much Cornershop content I drop between now and then because I know it's basically dying content. It's going to be dead content if I drop it. So I'll drop that video, and we'll see how much more Cornershop content I drop after that because it just doesn't. Outside of Cornershop, maybe farewell content. But, there's no feature on Cornershop content, so I'm not sure how much more Cornershop content I'll drop. Now, when it goes over to Uber Eats, we'll definitely be examining that. We'll be singing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye. I'll definitely have the Boyz II Men playing in the background. Maybe not on here because of DMCA, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If you stopped in tonight, I appreciate you for joining me. Hot Facts, Harvard Brat, young Chris Tucker out here. I'll take it. I'll take it. Man, most people say I look like Dwayne Wade. I've heard Jermaine Dupri. But young Chris Tucker out here. Hey, I don't know if it's the voice. I don't know if I'm that funny. I don't know if it's the looks. I don't think Chris Tucker, I never see Chris Tucker rocking the spectacles. But yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. You're saying I look like somebody that's rich and this is when I need a haircut. So yeah, I'll take that all day. But yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah. And we'll try and do this live more often. I appreciate everybody that participated in the chat. And yeah, until next time. Pieces. Dash optimally.